Now then, what are we up to today? Well, remember the garden waste, the chariot that we converted and put a drawbar on a few weeks ago. We put a drawbar on it so I can tow it with the garden tractor. Well, now I've been working, since we've had 1 or 2 nice days, I've been working hard trying to tidy up the garden and cut down all the waste and things that have invaded the gardens the last couple of years and I haven't really managed to get on control of. So I need something to bring all that waste. I mean, the garden is what, 80 metres. It's 80 metres by 40 metres with about 60 trees in it and a couple of really big hedges and lots of shrubs. So there's a lot of stuff to try and bring up here and put onto the bonfires to get rid of. We've had when Helen was here the other week, we got a couple of bonfires got rid of, so we can't start build them up again. Here I need to get my tractor out, and this is the loader of my tractor. It's been here for about 6 years or so since I last used it. As you can see, it's pretty robust, and we've only got to drive over those bits of bamboo and stuff, so that'll be coming out soon. And we're going to bring all the rubbish down here and pile it up again so that we can have a few more bonfires before the bonfire season is over. Well, unofficial bonfire season, because here a lot of the townies in France are trying to ban bonfires. But so far in the countryside there are periods of time when you're not supposed to have them. I mean, we're pretty safe November up to April, when it's still wet and there's not much to burn and things aren't going to catch fire in the fields, then it's pretty safe to have a bonfire. But it's questionable as to whether it's legal. Right, we'll continue with our chariot. Now this morning, this is some of that wood I was telling you about that fell on the car. Told you about that, didn't I, when I said the film about when I fell over and sort of broke my hip, and then all this wood fell over on top of the car. Fortunately, it didn't damage it, so I'm going to use some of it on this trolley, which is robust, to make some means of carting the stuff out without me having to drag it about and whatever. This is narrow enough to get through the garden gaps. So we just need to put another side on here and then trim it up and see how we go. I think I might just put a bit more board on here. There's a bit there, you see, and I can screw a bit of board in here. I might put a bit more board on there just so that it extends it a bit. You know, I can carry it a bit more. The more we can carry, the better. And so it's quite narrow. Now the big trailer there, look, you can see that's what we use for all other things, gathering stuff, and it came from John, a Dutch chap who has lived in the town close by, and we helped him empty his house, and he gave us this trailer. Take the cover off and it's pretty versatile. At the moment it's full of stuff waiting to go to the déchetterie. Rubbish. It's half full. Right, I'm off to get another piece of wood to put on the side of this chariot, and we shall continue with it a little bit more. 1/2 inch chipboard. I need to get it just balanced and up on the edge here, where I've left space for it. Oh, pretty good. Just down there a little bit. Oh, it's a bit out of shape, isn't it? Up, slodge it up a bit. Oh, we've got that, wrong way around. We've got the groove that, the slotting groove, because it's the stuff you use for flooring and that, and it interlocks, so we've got it wrong way around. So let's just move it round without crashing it on my toes. See if we can get it the other way around. So we've got smooth end here up against the other side. I mean, at my age, I suppose when I was younger, I could easily lift this thing, you know, and carry it wherever I wanted, but it's heavy enough now. Ah, there we are, right. That's flush up to there now. Flush. Let's bring this trolley thing in here. Stop it falling over. That's it, good. Lob up there. Now where's my drills? Drill number 1 is drilling the holes, and drill number 2 is driving the screws in. Up. Right, get the first one in. Just get a couple of screws in and then I can talk to you. These are some screws I took off another job. I think I was using them on a terrace that I'd built in the garden. It was a summer eating area. Pretty good. Push them in tight. Even though it's sliding a bit on it. Yeah, these are second time of use, these are. I do like, what do they call them? These screws, not posi drive, you know, not cross heads. They've got a star-headed screw. Torx, that's it. Torx screws, way. Batteries going. Oh, it's still got 2 green bits on it. Again, using screws, then when the time comes that I want to use this as a flat trailer to transport things like the dog kennel over there, then I can unscrew these. It's not going to be too difficult to take the whole thing to bits, or a matter of probably 20 minutes should do it, and then I can use it, say, as a flat trailer. Pretty good. Yeah, that's not bad. It's pretty stable. Now then, I've got a bit of sterling board here. Sterling board, chipboard, what do they call it nowadays? Yeah, it used to be called sterling board. It's heavy, you can see how thick it is. I've got a bit here that just could go on the end here. Actually, it's not wide enough, but if I put it up at one side, up against this side, then I think it would do. It will just give us, I don't know if you can see from there, give us an extra 18 inches of load space. I think that's pretty important. And the piece of wood it's an offcut from the front. I think that would do, definitely. I'll just move you so you can see what we're doing in here. Still recording? Yes, jolly good. There we are. Put it on dog kennel. There we are. See what's happening in here. We're going to put this bit of chipboard on here and support it on this bit here, just to give us I mean, there isn't much weight. A lot of this stuff is branches and things like that, so it's volume that we're shifting rather than weight. So we'll just use this offcut. I'm not going to stand in it or anything, I'm not going to climb in there. Just need to cut this edge off. disconnected it first, did you notice? Not a bad idea. The last thing you want when you're fiddling with these things is for it to start up on its own. We could sort of connect that to that, but it's not going to do it very easily. I think a couple more screws in here. Oh yes, a couple more in that side, just to strengthen things up a bit. And then to make it a bit more rigid. I mean, this stuff in itself is pretty rigid. The board takes a lot of breaking this. I used some of this at the horse centre years ago as a floor on a loading dock for folks to get on and off. It's a bit slippery in wet weather, but it's cheap, of course, and it's strong. And I think it lasted best part of 10 years, you know, out in the weather, before it had to be replaced. It's all glued together. I've never seen it made, but it must be fascinating to see it. Right. Yep, pretty good. Right. Now you see it's narrow, long and narrow, because the garden, access to the garden is through fairly narrow paths. I mean, this will go over the bridge over the river. It'll just about go over it. The wheels will, I know. But it doesn't have to. It'll go round behind the river and it'll go down the path behind the river and around the corner. It will get in there because of its narrowness. Well, if it doesn't, I should just cut a way through and make it. Yeah. That's the idea of it. But there's some stuff to shift. So I think it's about 3:30 now, so it's going to start getting cool soon. 3:30 on the 2nd of December. Yeah, I was doing this morning. I've also opened up or installed a couple of heaters into the greenhouse. There's polytunnel greenhouse. Ruth wants me to put the Christmas tree in something so it stands up on its own. So I'm going to have a go at that next. But in the meantime, I'm just going to put his tools away and then have a look at the Christmas tree. This will stay here for the moment in the dry. It can live in here, see, or live in the big shed. And then probably if it's not raining tomorrow, we shall have it out and give it some use. See how we go. Well, first load. I'm just a bit louder because of the noise of the engine, but it was worth hanging that bit on the back, look, because we've got some extra stuck in the back here. That's quite a load, actually. It's cleared cleared a space down there. It's nearly completely cleared two heaps. So that I'm very pleased with that. Only is unloading it and stacking and making the bonfire. I'm going to need the tractor and the front loader to help me with that, to stack it up and push it up, because it's hard work with two arms. So once I've done a couple of loads of this, I'm going to get the tractor and the loader out and get that going so I can actually stack it up. And the loader will push the branches down, you know, on the bonfire, make it, squash it tighter, which the bonfire needs to do that. So all in all, it's working. Very pleased with that. My goodness. I mean, I can just imagine myself trying to pull all that down the garden. We're about halfway down the garden here in front of the house. There's half of it is down there where the bonfires are. The other half is behind the house to the north, where we've been clearing away the hedges and shrubs. So it gives me great hope for when I start tackling that big hedge. More news later. And here is load number 2. Yeah, tow bar's still working. good load on there. That little extra bit of wood made a big difference. It's got a greedy board on the side, look. I jammed a piece of wood in, you see, to stop all the high bits falling off on the way to the bonfire. Yay! Yeah, that's a result of today's carting in my bulk carrier. It wants squashing down now because there's lots of air in there. It won't burn very well. It won't burn away. There's the loader in there I showed you earlier. I should get that dug out. In the meantime, I've got the trailer loaded up ready to go down the other end of the garden with these two planters in that had the tomatoes in outside. Look, there's one there and one there. This is only half full. I managed to get that up in there, slid it up the back. That one was a lot more in it. I put the residue, took some soil out because I couldn't lift it. Put soil in that bucket. So those are going down into the polytunnel. And then in the springtime they're going to have something planted in them, you know, peas or beans or something, whatever takes a fancy. And then so when the trailer goes down there to pick up a load more of hedge cuttings and brash from the garden, it can take those down. There, well, that's all for today. Thanks for watching to the end. And don't forget, if you'd like to give us a like if you like it, or even share with your friends, or subscribe to the channel. That's important. Helps the channel to grow. Thanks very much. And don't forget, you can look at Buzzsprout and all the other things that Crackerbooks produce on Crackerbooks website. They're all free to download. Hours of entertainment. Thanks for being with us, and until the next time, cheerio.